Hi everyone, so I want to talk about the things I've been currently reading and no. Hi everyone, it's about halfway through the month, so I wanted to talk about the things I've been currently reading and what I plan to read. There's a 48-hour readathon coming up that I'm excited for, that I have a few things picked out for. So before we get into that, there will continue to be links to petitions and donation links down below. There's also something new that the publishing community is trying to do, where they picked 2 dates, I believe, so far, one of which has already passed. It was yesterday for me, to buy 2 books by Black authors, to try and get books by Black authors onto the New York Times bestseller list, to prove to publishing that not only do Black voices obviously matter, but they also sell. So I'll link information about that below. So far I've just seen like Instagram, Twitter posts about it and that kind of thing, so I'll link one of those below. It's mostly that though, just like buy some Black books. The next date is June 20th, so let's get into what I've been reading. So the first thing I've been reading that I'm pretty far through at this point, I think I've mentioned it on this channel already, I'm not sure, but it's Two Moons short stories by Crystal A. Smith. I'm really enjoying this so far. The only reason I haven't finished it yet, because it is really short and I'm really enjoying it, is because I'm enjoying it so much that I don't want it to end, which is kind of the problem I also had with Falling in Love with Hominids. The stories are just so interesting and strange, and there's a lot about the moon in here. There's a story where a girl falls in love with the moon who is also a girl, and that was possibly one of my favorites. There's also a story where like rabbits help a woman give birth to a goddess, so like this has a lot of weird but incredible, and the writing is great. Like, I highly recommend everyone pick up this story collection. It is so good so far. I highly recommend this, and I'm not even done with it yet. The other thing I've been reading could also count towards Queer Blackathon, because that's, you know, the kind of reading mood I've been in. Brie and I are actually buddy reading this, which has been interesting because it is such a short book, and neither of us have been like super in a reading headspace, but we are steadily making our way through The Deep by River Solomon. I'd heard a lot about this one, not quite about the plot, but I did know like the basics about it. And I have to say, this is blowing me away so far. It's interesting. There's one chapter, I think it's chapter 4, that surprised me at first and was a little hard to like get into, but only really, when I say got hard to get into, I mean like it took me like 2 or 3 pages. Not even, probably. It was just really interesting and good, and I've still got a chunk of this left, but I also don't want this to end. I thought about finishing it last night and I was like, no. Before Blackathon starts, I will be finishing up these 2, hopefully, because while I do never want them to end, there are like 4 days before Blackathon, and I am wanting to read these so bad I don't think I can hold off much longer. So these will probably be getting done this week, hopefully. I'd also like to read something else just this week, just to, because I've been more in a reading headspace, and if I don't start reading, then like I won't keep reading, if that makes sense. To get into the Queer Blackathon section of this video, I don't think I mentioned, but Queer Blackathon is like a mini version of the normal Blackathon readathon that Jesse at Bowties and Books hosts. I'll put all the information down below. They also did a recommendation video recommending some books to read if you are struggling to think of something. Yeah, as I said, 48-hour readathon. It starts on June 19th, for obvious reasons. If you don't know what that means or why, Google it. Please look it up, learn about it, learn things. So I have a few books as options. I don't know what I'll be in the mood for, and I don't really know what I'll want to read, and normally I don't do TBRs because like putting books on a list immediately makes my brain be like, no, I don't want to read them. Really hoping that this time this doesn't happen. One of the books I have is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender, which has one of the most gorgeous covers of this year. Seriously, this cover is completely stunning. It's incredible. I'm so excited to read this. I've heard nothing but good things. It just came out recently. Everyone is raving about it, talking about it, so this is definitely very high on my TBR to begin with, and it also fits. The next one is one I've heard from quite a few people at this point, especially in like the sci-fi fantasy community. It's a middle grade novel. I've also heard about it from Jesse, so, and that is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This sounds weird and amazing. Yeah, and I don't know much more about it. I think it's about a trans girl, and like that's all I know. It's very short, so I've heard the synopsis of this before, but I do not remember it, and I do not want to look it up because I want to just go into it and experience what's going on, and I'm really excited to read this. I've heard nothing but good things about this one as well. So those two are kind of what like I'm mainly hoping to get to. And then also, Jessie mentioned this is the one that I actually like took from their video, because the other two, I believe they mentioned both of them in the video, but I already had them set aside, is The Wicked and the Divine, which is a comic that I started when it first started coming out, which I think was in 2016. I don't remember exactly, but it's been a while, but apparently it's finished now, so I'm gonna jump back in and reread the first. That's gonna be fun. I really enjoyed this comic when I was first reading it, but I just got off comics at one point and I never really hopped back on the train fully, so hopefully this will help me get more back into comics, because I do adore comics and this one was a lot of fun. I also might reread some romance. I might just do that this week before the readathon starts. I really want to reread some Katrina Jackson. I really want to reread From Scratch by her, which I loved. It's so good. It's a poly romance between, it's a male-female romance between like a baker and then like these two guys that she like moves to this small town. I don't remember it super well, but I remember it being very cute and very sweet, so I would like to reread that because obviously my memory on it is a little foggy. I think that's it. Oh, I also might pick up Lot by Brian Washington. I've had this for forever and I have not gotten to it. I've heard really good things about this. It's a short story collection and I don't think there's many stories in it because it is very short. Someone mentioned this book and I was like, yeah, I have that book. I've been meaning to read it forever. I guess that's it. So these are the books I am currently reading and hoping to finish before Friday. And then these are the books I'm hoping to read for the Queer Blackathon, including Wicked and the Divine. So hopefully I can get some reading done. I've been really missing it, and finally getting to read some of both of these the last few days has been really nice, especially because reading really helps my mental health, and I forget that sometimes until I'm actually doing it, so hopefully I will keep doing it. So I guess that is it. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you've been reading, or if like me you can't focus for anything and you haven't been reading much. Just let me know what you've been up to. How have you been? I hope you're doing okay. Good. I hope you're safe. I hope you're taking breaks for your mental health. I laugh after I said that because I'm not, so. Oh, and let me know what you're reading for a Queer Blackathon if you're participating. And I will see you soon. Life Before Death, Radiant.